Hi everybody, I'm Steve and I'm here at Hollywood Forever Cemetery in Hollywood, California. And I'm here to visit the final resting places of two different actors who both played Tarzan during their careers. And they both just happened to be laid to rest here in the same cemetery. Thanks for joining me on another trip down memory lane. On my road trips around Southern California, I always try to leave no later than 5 a.m. According to my car clock, as I'm backing out of the driveway, I'm only 1 minute behind schedule. On the weekends, it usually only takes me about an hour and a half to 2 hours to drive from Palm Springs to Los Angeles, and sometimes double that or more on a weekday. If I leave any later, it could easily double my driving time. It works out pretty well since I usually arrive at my destination as it's starting to get light out. As you can see, I made it just as the sun is coming up behind the palm trees at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Actor Elmo Lincoln played the very first Tarzan on the screen, and I wanted to start by visiting his final resting place this morning, but he's located in the Chapel Columbarium, and it's not open yet. So instead, I'm going to start here by visiting the crypt of actor Frank Merrill. It's located in the Sanctuary of Peace corridor of the Abbey of the Psalms Mausoleum, which is open now. I believe he was the 7th actor to play Tarzan on screen. So now I'm in the corridor, or Sanctuary of Peace. That's his crypt right there. He is 1, 2, 3 from the top, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the bottom. Merrill died on February 12, 1966. The year is on his plaque. He was 72 and he died here in Los Angeles. So Frank's first Tarzan movie was The Adventures of Tarzan in 1921. He started as a stuntman, and eventually he starred as Tarzan. His first Tarzan lead was in Tarzan the Mighty in 1928. I think it's pretty neat that before Merrill became Tarzan on screen, he was the stuntman for the original Tarzan, Elmo Lincoln, and now they're both interred here at the same cemetery. I'm guessing they were probably friends in life as well. So now I'm going to walk over to the Chapel Columbarium and see if the gates are open yet. The chapel is just inside the front gates to the right, and the columbarium is just behind it. The gates are on the left-hand side of the chapel, all the way to the back of the sidewalk. This is the outdoor entrance to the Chapel Columbarium of cremated niches. Now, just inside the gates here to the right is a picture that looks quite a bit. Let me get out the picture. This does look quite a bit like Elmo Lincoln, so it's possible that this is his space, but it doesn't have his name on it, so I'm not positive. And his Find a Grave memorial page has a photo of a small plaque with his name that says the first Tarzan, but those plaques are all on the other side of the hallway, and as you can see, most of them have been tarnished with age, and very few of them are even readable anymore. I've looked at every single niche here in this hallway, and his name doesn't appear on any of the niches. My guess is that the small plaque has either been removed or that it's so tarnished that his name is no longer visible, so it's a little bit of a mystery to me this morning on which side of the hallway his ashes are located. Obviously, things have changed a little bit since the person who created his Find a Grave memorial page was here. Lincoln died of a heart attack on June 27, 1952, at the age of 63 in Los Angeles. It's really hard to believe that it's been more than 100 years now since Elmo Lincoln became the very first Tarzan to appear on the screen back in 1918. I've been able to count at least 23 other actors who have played Tarzan either on the big screen or the small screen since Elmo Lincoln. The two Tarzans I remember most are Johnny Weissmuller from his many movies that played on TV when I was growing up back in the 1960s, and then later Ron Ely from the Tarzan TV series that ran from 1966 to 1968. But there have certainly been many other popular Tarzans as well, including Buster Crabbe, Lex Barker, Gordon Scott, Jock Mahoney, Miles O'Keefe, Christopher Lambert, Wolf Larson, Casper Van Dien, Travis Fimmel, and Alexander Skarsgård. So who's your favorite Tarzan? I'm guessing it'll probably have a lot to do with your age. So I'm going to walk back to my car now, and then I'm going to drive east about a half hour to one of the most famous Tarzan filming locations here in Southern California. Coming out of the restroom, I was greeted by this beautiful peacock casually walking in front of the cemetery chapel. I've been coming here for many years, as most of you already know, and I've yet to see any of the peacocks spread their feathers. With the length of the feathers on this one, it must be quite a sight. So now that I've seen the two final resting places of two of the actors who played Tarzan, I'm going to head over to the Los Angeles Arboretum, which is in Arcadia, California, and I'm going to show you where quite a few of the Tarzan movies were filmed back in the day. And not only Tarzan, but dozens and dozens of movies and TV shows have been filmed at the Arboretum over the years and still are being filmed there today. And there's one that I think many of you will really recognize. If you're not familiar with Tarzan, you'll almost definitely be familiar with this TV show. All right, so let's head on over to the LA Arboretum. So how many of you have been here before to the Arboretum? It's just right across the street from the very famous horse racing track, the Santa Anita Park. And if you're wondering what that noise is, that's just my keys jangling around as I go over the bumps. And that's the sound of peacocks. I'm surprised how many people are here already. It's the first nice day without rain that we've had in a long time, so everyone probably wants to get out of the house. The admission price is pretty reasonable here. It's only $6 with a senior discount. Hey, it looks like this peacock is following me around today, or maybe I'm following him around. I heard that Lucky Baldwin, who developed this property before it became the Arboretum, imported these peacocks from India. And over the years, they've multiplied from the first 6 peacocks to hundreds, if not thousands, of peacocks all over Southern California now. Here's a map of the Arboretum if you want to pause the video and take a closer look. I'm going to head first to the historic circle area and show you the prehistoric forest and the Baldwin Lake or lagoon that have been used in so many of the Tarzan movies over the years. And probably the most visited landmark here in the Arboretum is the Queen Anne Cottage that was built in 1885. Fans of the popular TV show Fantasy Island will immediately recognize it as the house that's used in the opening scene of every episode, and other scenes as well. So this is the lake right here where Johnny Weissmuller swam in all of those Tarzan movies. Many of them were filmed here for over a period of 30 years. And when you're walking through, it really does sound like a jungle. And it's funny that it's just right next to the Queen Anne Cottage here that's been used in other movies and TV shows, especially recognizable from Fantasy Island. Walking through this bamboo forest is kind of surreal. I really do feel like I'm in one of those old Tarzan movies. So can you picture Tarzan swinging down from one of these trees here? This is pretty incredible to think that this is just 15 miles from downtown Los Angeles. And there's a busy street right there, Baldwin Avenue. If it weren't for that, you would think you were in the heart of Africa. Child actor Johnny Sheffield played Boy in 8 Tarzan movies in the 1930s and 40s alongside Johnny Weissmuller. He went on to star as Bomba the Jungle Boy in 11 additional movies that were also filmed here at the Arboretum. Sheffield was born in Pasadena, California, which is really just 5 to 10 miles west of the Arboretum. He died October 15, 2010 in Chula Vista, California at the age of 79. He was cremated and has no final resting place to visit at this time. Johnny Weissmuller was born in Romania and died January 21st, 1984, also at the age of 79, in Acapulco de Juarez in Mexico. And that's also where he's laid to rest. It really does just feel like I'm on the set of Tarzan here. This is really so impressive. I half expect to see a cheetah jump out of the trees at any minute now. You could really get lost in here. Lots and lots of other movies were filmed here as well. Safari in 1940, Road to Singapore, 1940, Marathon Man in 1970, gosh, I think it was 76, McArthur in 77, Roos was filmed here in 1979, and lots of TV shows too, like Sea Hunt, Lassie, Daniel Boone, Remington Steele, Falcon Crest, Knots Landing, Dallas, Heart to Heart, I think The Green Hornet, Mission Impossible, Wonder Woman, The Love Boat, and the list just goes on and on. I mean, you can easily see how this would be. Look at how beautiful that is. How this would just be an incredible location for filming. And this is just one tiny, tiny little part of this arboretum and botanical garden. I mean, it's enormous, and this is just a tiny little section. So this one is for all of you fans of Fantasy Island. Recognize that house? Queen Anne Cottage. Remember the opening scene? That's the house right there. I'm going to go around the lake and see if I can maybe take a tour inside. I'm not sure if it's open today or not. So here's another angle of the house. And you can also see it in the right-hand corner of the DVD cover. It's not hard to see why this is so often used as a movie set. So the last time I was here was back in the 1960s. We had a grade school field trip to the Arboretum. I don't even remember this house. Maybe we didn't come by, or it was so long ago. In fact, the only thing I really do remember from that day is the jungle area where they said Tarzan was filmed. That really stuck with me. So how about all of you? Do you have any memories of high school or grade school field trips? Feel free to share them with us in the comments section. So it turns out that the house is only open for tours on certain days of the year. So if you're planning to come to see the house and you want to see the interior, make sure to go online and check out the dates of the tours before you come. The porch or veranda wraps all the way around the house, and you can look through the windows and get an idea of what it looks like inside. They sure don't make houses like this anymore. And just a short distance away from the house is the barn that may be even more impressive than the house. So does this look like any barn you've ever seen before? I think it looks more like a church than a barn. This barn is nicer than most houses that I've seen. Look at this. And this doghouse is nicer than most or many homes that I've seen. It's hard to believe this is a barn. It's also hard to believe that these were horse stables, and not even for the thoroughbreds. These were just for the working horses. This is definitely the most luxurious barn I've ever seen. And a stagecoach. This is really cool. You can pause if you want to read this. That is so cool. I don't think I've ever seen one of these in person. I've seen them in a lot of movies. El Rancho, that was the name of this ranch before it became the Los Angeles Arboretum. There are just so many things to see here that you could spend an entire day and still not see everything. But I did want to show you this waterfall before I head back to my car. This seems to be the place to get a selfie. I've seen more people here than anywhere else. And I'd like to give a shout out and a big thank you to my latest Patreon supporters, Howie Weisberg, Chris Peterson, and David Grief. Your postcards will go out in the mail this week. And if any of you watching would also like me to send you a postcard that I pick up from one of my trips, check out the link to my Patreon page down below for details. Now, I walked about 5 miles and I didn't even cover the entire Arboretum, so I'll be coming back. So thanks everybody for joining me today, and I hope to see you on my next trip down memory lane. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you'll be notified when I upload future videos like this one.